Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. This is the 22nd March newspaper front page dawn. Gas firms seek up to 220% hike in prices. Regulator moves to get stakeholders' input on demand. It's not immediately clear whether the rise will hit consumers. By Khalid Kiani. Islamabad, the country's two gas utilities, SNGPL and SSGCL, have demanded up to 220% increase in the prescribed prices of gas with effect from July 1 to meet estimated revenues requirement ERR during the fiscal year 2021-22. In formal petitions filed with the Oil and Gas Regulatory Authority, OGRA, the Lahore-based Northern Gas Pipelines Limited has demanded that its prescribed price for the next fiscal year be increased by rupees 1,416 per unit defined in million British thermal unit MMBTU, including the previous year's outstanding recovery of about rupees 670 per unit. According to an announcement by the regulator, SNGPL has demanded an additional revenue requirement of rupees 367 billion, including last year's revenue shortfall of rupees 254 billion. For next year's revenue shortfall, the company has sought an increase of rupees 857 per unit in its prescribed price to meet next fiscal's revenue shortfall of rupees 771 billion. The company has demanded another rupees 137.5 per unit increase as cost of service for regasified liquefied natural gas or LNG. The existing prescribed price approved by OGRA for SNGPL, which supplies the gas to Punjab and Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, stands at about rupees 645 per MMBTU. Its demand, if approved by the regulator, would jack up prescribed prices by about 220% to almost rupees 2,160. Interestingly, the exclusive rights of SNGPL over its franchise areas of Punjab and KP have expired, but the company has projected to pay 42 billion for laying 11,500 kilometer distribution main lines and to connect various new towns and villages. Likewise, the Karachi-based Sui Northern Gas Company Limited has sought rupees 153 per unit or 20% increase in its prescribed price for the next fiscal year from about rupees 779 per unit and to about rupees 932. The regulator said SSGCL had worked out a revenue shortfall of about rupees 35 billion for next year and to meet its revenue requirement of about rupees 252 billion against gas and operating cost and return on assets, hence an increase of rupees 110 per unit in a prescribed price with effect from July 1. The cost of gas is linked to international price of crude oil or fuel in accordance with the government's agreement with gas producers. SSGCL has also estimated RLNG cost of service at rupees 16.7 billion or 43.38% percent per unit, with effect from July 1. Moreover, the exclusive rights of SSGCL in its franchise areas of Sindh and Balochistan have expired under its license. However, the company has projected rupees 1.044 billion for laying a 278-kilometer distribution main lines and to connect various new towns and villages. The regulator is now seeking input from various stakeholders, including consumers and the government, on the two gas companies' demand for the increase in prescribed prices and whether their demands for distribution system expansion are justified given the falling gas production and expiry of their exclusive rights for gas sale. It may be recalled that Ogra had in February allowed only a rupees 13.42 per unit increase in SNGPL's prescribed price against its demand for a 123% increase. The increase was determined at the request of the gas utility on the basis of its ERR for the financial year 2020 to 21. The regulator said it previously determined the shortfall in revenue required for SNGPL at rupees 4.35 billion after working out its revenue requirement at rupees 228.7 billion and prescribed at rupees 644 per MMBTU. SNGPL had then demanded an increase of rupees 773.5, 123% per unit, but the regulator did not allow the companies the previous year's shortfall of rupees 197 billion and deferred the matter into the federal government for a policy decision. The company now says the previous revenue shortfall has since then increased to rupees 254 billion, pending a policy decision by the government. Ogra had last month put on record that the government had allowed insufficient revisions to its determined sales rates and regulatory, and resultantly SNGPL remained unable to meet the shortfall determined by Ogra. Accordingly, the backlog is persistently piling up, the regulator had noted, adding that in case of a federal government decides not to burden the consumers, it may please alternatively consider payment of subsidy and to the company and to meet its previous year's shortfall. Likewise, the regulator had also allowed rupees 44 per unit, 5.4% increase in the prescribed price for SSGC for the current fiscal year to meet its revenue shortfall of rupees 14.3 billion. The prescribed price for SSGCL was fixed at rupees 779 per unit. However, the Prime Minister later decided not to increase the consumer gas rates for a couple of months, given the fact that the consumer prices are revised under the law on a biannual basis, so that is January 1 and January 1 of this year, of each year. The government has given an understanding of the International Monetary Fund to revise gas rates on 1st of July 2021 in line with the regulator's determinations. And in the end, the formal request, if you have not yet, please subscribe our channel and press the like and bell button to get the press from us. Thank you for watching. Have a nice time and goodbye.